Okay, so what has happened is the Elks have decided to move their presentation down to the rock on the river with Mike Butler. So I'm walking down. So I was mistaken. It wasn't going to be held at the rock. It's at the Elks. So I made it down. And I don't know how long my battery's going to last on this old camera. I might have to switch to my cell phone, but I'm here. Whatever it's worth.
Please be seated. Our country's flag, to celebrate the anniversary of its birth and to recall the achievements attained beneath its folds. It is quite appropriate that such a service should be held by the Order of Elks, an organization that is distinctively American, intensely patriotic, and without counterpart. Esteemed leading knight, what are the fraternal aims of the Benevolent Protective Order of Elks?
To inculcate the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity, to promote the welfare and happiness of mankind, to uphold our country and its laws, and to quicken the spirit of American patriotism.
Esteemed leading knight, what is the significance of the American flag?
It is emblematic of the crowning virtue, charity.
Esteemed loyal knight, what is the significance of the American flag?
It is emblematic of justice for all.
Esteemed lecture knight, what is the significance of the American flag?
It is the symbol of brotherly love.
Lodge Esquire, what is the significance of the flag from the station of the exalted ruler?
It is the symbol of fidelity.
Charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity are the cardinal principles of our order, and they are exemplified in all of our services. By them, we teach our love of country and our countrymen and loyal to our American way of life. To be an elk is to be an American citizen who lives for their country and is ready to die for it. Please stand. The chaplain will lead us in prayer.
Almighty God, in honor of this patriotic observance of the birthday of the American flag, we ask you to bless our flag and the people of these United States. For all that our flag represents, both home and abroad, we thank thee, and that through all our history as a nation, it has been an ensign of freedom, liberty, and opportunity. And through the years to come, may this flag wave as the banner of liberty, freedom, and enlightenment. May this service bring to each of us a sense of loyalty to our country and enable us to be better patriots, truer citizens, and more loyal Americans, thy glory and to the honor of this great nation. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. The flag and its history will be read by Mrs. Sue Deal.
Okay.
Heraldry is as old as the human race. The carrying of banners has been a custom among all peoples in all ages. These banners usually contain some concept of life or government of those who fashion them. The evolution of the American flag marks the progression of the government and the American people. From the founding of Jamestown in Virginia in 1607 until 1775, the flag of England was the flag of the peoples of America. In 1775, the pine tree flag was adopted for all colonial vessels, and this was the banner carried by the Continental forces in the Battle of Bunker Hill. The Southern colonies from 1776 to 1777 used the snake flag. In the latter part of 1775, the Continental Congress appointed a committee to consider the question of a single flag for the 13 colonies. That committee recommended a design of 13 alternate stripes of red and white with an azure field in the upper corner bearing the red cross of St. George and the white cross of St. Andrew. John Paul Jones, a senior lieutenant of the flagship Alfred, hoisted this flag to the masthead on December 3, 1775, and 1 month later it was raised over the headquarters of General Washington at Cambridge, Massachusetts, in compliment, as he wrote, to the United Colonies. The flag, called the Continental Colors and the Grand Union, was never carried in the field by the Continental Land Forces, but it was used by the Navy as its exclusive ensign, and was the first American flag to receive the Salute of Honor, a salute of 11 guns from the Fort of Orange in the Dutch West Indies. In response to a general demand for a banner more representative of our country, the Congress on June 14, 1777 provided that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes of alternating red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white on a blue field representing a new constellation. It is generally believed that in May or June of 1776, a committee consisting of George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross commissioned Betsy Ross, a Philadelphia Quakeress, to make a flag from a rough design they left with her. It is said that she suggested that the stars should have 5 points rather than 6. This starry banner was first flown at Fort Santwitz, called Fort Schuyler at the time, near the city of Rome, New York, on August 3, 1777, and was under fire 3 days later at the Battle of Oriskany, August 6, 1777, during a British and Indian attack. The first official salute to the Stars and Stripes was given on February 14, 1778, by France, on the French coast, when the Ranger, under command of John Paul Jones, was saluted by the French fleet. This flag, then carried by the Ranger, was made by the young women of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, from stripes of their best colored silk dresses and the white wedding gown of a recent bride. It is said that this same Ranger's flag was flown by Jones's ship, the Bon Homme Richard, in its thrilling fight by moonlight upon the high seas with the British frigate Serapis. When the Serapis struck her colors, the immortal flame of John Paul Jones was ensured as the intrepid defender of the youthful republic. The original 13 stars and stripes represented the original 13 colonies. In 1795, 2 additional stars and stripes were added to represent admission to the Union of Vermont and Kentucky. Under this banner of 15 stars and stripes was fought the War of 1812. It was the sight of it flying over Fort McHenry on September 14, 1814, that inspired Francis Scott Key to write what has become our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Miss Margaret Young, who cut the stars for that particular banner, was the mother of Henry Sanderson, the grand exalted ruler of the Order of Elks in 1884. The Congress on April 14, 1818, adopted a resolution that on and after July 4, 1818, the number of stripes should be 13, and that the blue field should carry 1 star for each of the 20 states in the Union, and that a new star should be added for each state thereafter admitted. Since 1818, there has been no change in the flag design, except that 28 new stars were added before July 4th, 1912, and this flag of 48 stars flew over this nation for 47 years until just before the Vietnam War. On July 4th, 1959, a star was added for Alaska, our first non-connected state, and a year later, Hawaii. Our island state added a 50th star. Our present flag, 50 stars and 13 stripes, it is accompanied by the POW MIA flag to recognize the plight and demise of a special group of our armed services. Those who were prisoners of war or still remain missing in action.
Thank you, Sue. Mrs. Karen B. Ever will now do the response. Okay. Please be seated. Please stand and salute our flag. As the emblem is the first in our hearts as loyal Americans, so it is close to our altar as loyal Elks. The gentle breeze with lingering caress kiss the folds of no flag which can compare with its beauty. There is no such red and budding rose, or falling leaf, or sparkling wine. No such white in April blossoms in crescent moon or mountain snow. No such blue to woman's eye in ocean's depth or heaven's dome. No such pageantry or clustering of stars, streaming light in all the spectrum of sun and sky. Please be seated. Our flag is at once a history of declaration and prophecy. It represents the American nation as it was at its birth and speaks for what it is today, and will hold the opportunity for future to add other stars to the glorious constellation. The benevolent and protective Order of Elks is the first and only fraternal body to require a formal observance of Flag Day in July of 1908. The Grand Lodge of this order at Dallas, Texas, when assembled, provided the annual nationwide observance of Flag Day on the 14th of June in each year by making it mandatory upon each subordinate lodge of the order. This unique distinction and the strongest promoter of the Flag Day is most becoming of the Order of the Elks. This order is distinctly American. Only American citizens are eligible to join it and has no foreign affiliation. It has linked its destiny with the destiny of our country and made this flag its symbol of self-dedication to God, to country, and to fellow man. Okay, Ms. Karen B. Ever will now do the response.
The Stars and Stripes, flag of the United States of America, the worldwide hope of all who under God would be free to live and do his will. Upon its folds is written the story of America, the epic of the mightiest and noblest in all history. In the days when peoples of the old world groveled in abject homage to the heresy of the divine right of kings, a new constellation appeared in the western skies, the Stars and Stripes, symbolizing the divine right of all to life, liberty, happiness, and peace under endowment by their Creator. To what man or woman is given words adequate to tell the story of the building of this nation? That immortal story is written in blood and sweat, in heroic deeds, in unremitting toil, in clearing the primeval forests, and in planting of vast prairies where once the coyote and buffalo roamed. Onward swept the nation, spanning wide rivers, leaping vast mountain ranges, leaving in its path villages and farms, factories and cities, till at last this giant nation stood astride the continent from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This is the heritage of the people of the United States. It has been repurchased by each succeeding generation and must be re-won again and again and again until the end of time, lest it too shall pass, like the ancient empires of Greece and Rome. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. What was won at Lexington and Concord and Bunker Hill had to be repurchased at Ticonderoga and Yorktown. What John Paul Jones achieved upon the high seas in the War of Independence had to be repurchased at Commodore Perry on Lake Erie in the War of 1812. The prestige of Admiral Dewey's victory at Manila Bay in 1898 was re-won by the naval battles in the seas above the far distant islands of the Pacific after the sneak attacks upon Pearl Harbor and Manila in 1941 had summoned our country to assume its role in World War II. What our troops achieved under the Stars and Stripes of Chateau Thierry and Flanders in World War I, their sons were required to repurchase in World War II in the bloody trek across northern Africa, on the beachheads of Europe, and in the Battle of the Bulge. The flag our American men raised at Iwo Jima was the same flag later raised in the defense of Incheon, Busan, and Fort Chop Hill in far-off Korea. Then another generation under the same flag led to stem the threat of communism in far-off Vietnam. Our young people were again called to carry our flags in the defense of a free world in the actions of Grenada and Panama. Willingly, our brave men and women carried our flag and the honor of the American people into battle of Operation Desert Storm. And who among us will ever forget the sight of firefighters raising our flag over the ruins of the World Trade Center, the military personnel draping our flag on the side of the Pentagon, or the citizens of Somerset County, Pennsylvania, placing our flag near the site where brave Americans died fighting the hijackers of Flight Number 93. No other symbol could have offered such comfort as we still today endure the horrors of that day. Today, American armed forces carry our flag in the villages of Iraq, the mountains of Afghanistan, and the jungles of the Philippines, and wherever terrorism may reside. Their struggle against the sponsors of terrorism is the hardest battle yet, and this threat to our nation and to our way of life is certainly as great a challenge as our flag has ever seen. The resurgence of patriotism since September 11, 2001 has rekindled respect for our flag. Today we see the Star-Spangled Banner wherever we turn, our homes, businesses, automobiles, and billboards. Such displays stimulate our love for our nation and for what it stands. They remind us of the sacrifices being made by the men and women of our armed forces around the world. And they are a tribute to the heroes of the police and fire departments of the nations over. The greatest significance of this flag, however, lies in the influence it has in the hearts and minds of millions of people. It has waved over the unparalleled progress of a nation in developing democratic institutions, scientific and technological knowledge, education, and culture. It has served as a beacon for millions of poor and oppressed refugees abroad and stands as a promise that underprivileged will not be forgotten. What is the meaning of the flag of the United States? There can never be a definitive answer to that question. There are people in this world who see it as a symbol of imperialism. Others see it as a destiny of the people. But reference to these and similar views of the flag was resolved by Woodrow Wilson when he said, "This flag, which we honor and under which we serve, is the emblem of our unity, our power, our thought, and shape of this nation. It has no other character than that which we give it from generation to generation. The choices are ours. Only love, true love, to our fellow man can create peace. The emblem and token of that love is the stars and stripes, the symbol of the American way of life."
Thank you, Karen. What is the meaning of the flag of the United States? They're never. Okay. Now we would like to have the military salute and taps. We now ask the American Legion Color Guard to provide that for us. Please stand.
And just, short arms, upright, athletic face, prepare to fire, fire, prepare to fire, fire, prepare to fire, fire, upright face, present arms, bugler, taps.
Lodge Esquire, how shall we further honor our flag?
The American flag is formally honored by the Pledge of Allegiance. This pledge was written in 1892 by Francis Bellamy and published in the Youth's Companion as part of a patriotic campaign in that magazine. The pledge did not become part of the flag code until 1942, and in 1954, the phrase "under God" was added.
Let us all stand and pledge ourselves never to forget the principle represented by the flag. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Now I'd like to introduce to you a special guest to us, Mr. George Washington.
I bear my flag, the headquarters flag. I am George Washington. Welcome, citizens, to Flag Day. Thank you for having me, Elks. What makes this special? It's America's 250th birthday. We are a young nation still, relatively speaking. But in this time, we have made great strides and celebrated many victories. Yorktown. But we've had our blunders too. But out in front of it all for the past 250 years has been this beautiful piece of cloth, red, white, and blue and adorned with stars, which symbolizes our belief in our Constitution. She's always a welcome sight in turbulent times. She reassures us, giving us courage and optimism. Her nickname is Old Glory. She's the United States flag of America. The most recognized flag of America, and known for its powerful belief and strong commitment of the people behind it that they would be willing to die for, and many have, to uphold and defend that Constitution of the United States for we the people. I have been blessed to live in a bicentennial to a semi-quincentennial. And I have been doubly blessed to live in the greatest country, as well as you, the United States of America. God bless America. Thank you.
In conclusion of this observance of Flag Day, let us rededicate ourselves to the flag of the United States of America, and may the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity ever increase in each of us. I would like to take a few minutes to introduce our guests and officers that helped out with the Flag Day ceremony today. We have Mr. Fritz Lawhead. Bill. Fritz. Everybody knows him as Fritz. Brian Spencer. Tom Bell.
Joe Maines-Loman.
Joe Maines-Loman. Karen B. Epper and Sue Deal, our Boy Scouts Troop number 9. And last but not least, our Bev. Oh, sorry, I forgot Bev. Bev Lawhead helped us hand out the flags. And our Joey Marzinski and Tia Owens with the handing out the flags. And Mike Butler for playing George Washington today. And the color guard from the American Legion for providing us with the service today. I now declare this service closed. We do have refreshments upstairs for everyone who would like to stay and partake. Thanks again.